Lieutenant Emma Wilson's fingers danced across the holographic display as another anomalous signal pinged off the lunar base's deep space array. She'd been tracking these strange energy signatures for the past 48 hours, each one growing stronger than the last. "Admiral Parker, you need to see this," Emma called out, her voice steady, despite the anxiety building in her chest. The Admiral's boots made a distinct sound against the metal floor as she approached the monitoring station. Admiral Jennifer Parker leaned over the console, her silver-streaked hair catching the blue glow of the displays. 25 years of military service had taught her to trust her gut. And right now, every instinct was screaming that something big was coming. "Talk to me, Lieutenant. What are we looking at?" "The signals match nothing in our database, ma'am. They're appearing at regular intervals, each one closer than the last. Whatever it is, it's using some kind of propulsion system we've never seen before." Before Parker could respond, the entire command center plunged into darkness. Emergency lights kicked in, bathing everything in a deep red glow. Major Tom Davidson burst through the doors, his experimental defense systems tablet clutched in his hand. "We've got multiple objects dropping out of, well, something," Davidson reported, his usually calm demeanor shaken. "It looks like they're tearing holes in space itself." The main screen flickered to life, showing a real-time feed from their long-range telescopes. Massive ships, each one larger than Earth's biggest cities, were emerging from swirling vortexes of purple energy. Their design was unmistakably alien, all sharp angles and crystalline structures that seemed to defy physics. Colonel Michael "Mad Dog" Reynolds stepped forward, his battle-scared face illuminated by the display. "How many?" "I'm counting at least 50 capital ships, sir," Emma reported, "and hundreds of smaller vessels still emerging." The command center erupted into controlled chaos as the first communication came through. The alien message bypassed all their security protocols, appearing on every screen simultaneously. A figure materialized, tall, regal with iridescent scales, and multiple sets of eyes arranged in a crown-like pattern. "People of Earth." The being's voice resonated through the speakers, somehow perfect English, despite its alien origin. "I am Supreme Overlord Kthix of the Zixtarian Empire. Your planet has been chosen for integration into our dominion. Surrender now, and your species will be permitted to serve as third-class citizens under our benevolent rule. Resist, and we will remove your civilization from existence. You have 1 Earth hour to comply." Admiral Parker straightened her uniform and looked around the room. Every face showed the same determination she felt in her bones. Humanity had prepared for this day since they first looked up at the stars and wondered what was out there. "Major Davidson, is the Aegis system ready?" she asked, referring to Earth's secret planetary defense network. Davidson allowed himself a small smile. "Better than ready, ma'am. We've made some improvements since the last test." Colonel Reynolds, status of the combined fleet. "Already moving into position, Admiral. Every ship we've got is combat ready, and our crews are the best they've ever been." Parker nodded and turned to Emma. "Lieutenant Wilson, send word to all commands, implementation of Protocol Omega, and get me a direct line to the alien flagship. Let's show these visitors why you don't threaten Earth." As the command center burst into action, Emma couldn't help but feel a surge of pride. The aliens clearly expected panic, submission, or at least fear. Instead, Earth's defense forces were responding with the calm efficiency of a military that had trained for this exact scenario. The first alien probe entered Earth's atmosphere exactly 7 minutes later. Major Davidson's experimental defense system tracked its descent, and with a single precise energy pulse, reduced it to atoms. The message was clear. Humanity would not go quietly into the night. Admiral Parker watched the tactical display as humanity's ships moved into formation, A lesser species might have seen the size difference between their fleet and the alien armada and lost hope. But humans saw it as a challenge. "Open the channel to their flagship," she ordered. "Let's give them our answer." The battle for Earth was about to begin, and despite the overwhelming odds, there was only one thought in Jennifer Parker's mind. These aliens had no idea what they'd just started. Captain James Hunter watched the massive alien fleet through the bridge windows of the Thunderchild, Earth's most advanced warship. His crew worked with silent efficiency, each member knowing that the next few minutes would determine the fate of their species. "Stealth systems holding steady," Lieutenant Sarah Martinez reported from her station. "The aliens don't seem to have detected us yet." The Thunderchild had been humanity's best-kept secret, a vessel built using reverse-engineered technology from 3 different crashed alien scout ships over the past decade. Now, hidden in the shadow of a large asteroid, they were about to show the Zixtarians what humans could do with stolen tech. "Ghost leader to Thunderchild." Lieutenant Emma Wilson's voice crackled through the secure channel. "My team is in position near their command ship, ready to begin Operation Shadow Strike on your mark." Hunter took a deep breath. "Admiral Parker, we're ready to execute." "You have a go, Captain." The Admiral's voice was clear and confident. "Show them what humanity can do." The plan was bold, perhaps even reckless by alien standards. While Ghost Team created a distraction by infiltrating the alien command ship, the Thunderchild would reveal its true combat capabilities for the first time. "All hands, battle stations," Hunter's voice rang through the ship. "Activate the quantum drive." The Thunderchild's hybrid engine, a combination of human ingenuity and alien technology, hummed to life. The ship's unique design allowed it to do something the aliens considered impossible: phase through solid matter while maintaining weapon lock. "Ghost Team beginning infiltration," Emma reported. Her small team of specialists had trained for years for this moment, using prototype stealth suits that bent light around them. Hunter watched the tactical display as multiple small explosions erupted along the alien command ship's hull. Ghost Team was creating chaos, and the alien fleet was responding exactly as predicted, breaking their perfect formation to investigate the disturbance. "Now," Hunter ordered, "execute attack pattern Delta." The Thunderchild burst from its hiding place, its quantum drive allowing it to pass through the asteroid like it wasn't there. The ship's main weapon, a graviton lance modified with human innovation, fired a concentrated beam of energy that cut through 3 alien destroyers before they could raise their shields. "Multiple direct hits," Martins called out. "Enemy vessels are breaking apart." The alien fleet reacted with surprise, their formations dissolving into chaos as they tried to track a ship that could literally pass through any obstacle. The Thunderchild phased through enemy vessels, firing from impossible angles, each shot finding its mark. "Ghost Team has secured the target data." Emma's voice came through, strained but triumphant. "Beginning extraction." Hunter smiled as he watched the alien ship struggling to adapt to their tactics. The Zixtarians had expected to face primitive weapons and basic space combat. Instead, they were fighting an enemy that had not only mastered their own technology, but had improved upon it. "Multiple enemy ships charging primary weapons," Martins warned. "They're trying to box us in." "Let them try," Hunter responded. "Activate the mirror shield." Another human innovation sparked to life. The mirror shield didn't just block enemy fire, it reflected it back at the source. The aliens learned this the hard way as their own weapon fire boomeranged back, destroying several of their ships. "Ghost Team is clear," Emma reported. "Mission accomplished." Hunter keyed his command channel. "Admiral Parker, Phase 1 is complete. We've shown them what we can do." "Excellent work, Captain," Parker responded. "All ships, execute Phase 2. Let's show these invaders that humanity is full of surprises. As the Thunderchild rejoined the main Earth fleet, Hunter could see the confusion in the alien fleet's movements. They had expected an easy victory over a primitive species. Instead, they had found an enemy that had been preparing for this fight for years, an enemy that had taken their own technology and made it better. The battle was far from over, but the first real blow had been struck. Humanity had proven they were not only ready for this fight, they were ready to win it. All hands, Hunter addressed his crew. Prepare for round 2. We've bloodied their nose. Now, let's show them what else we can do. The Thunderchild's engines flared as it moved to join the next phase of the battle. The real fight for Earth was just beginning. Commander Ashley Artemis Thompson watched from the bridge of her stealth frigate, the Shadowhawk, as her Wolfpack squadron moved into position. 6 of Earth's most advanced ships, each one modified for hit-and-run warfare, were about to show the aliens why humans were history's greatest predators. All Wolfpack units, sound off, she ordered through the encrypted channel. Wolf 2, ready. Wolf 3, armed and ready. Wolf 4, in position. Wolf 5, locked and loaded. Wolf 6, ready to hunt. The alien supply lines stretched before them, like a glowing thread through space. The Zixtarians, so confident in their superior numbers, had left their support ships vulnerable. Major Jackson, are your Marines prepared for boarding? Thompson asked, checking the final details of their plan. My boys and girls are ready to give these aliens a proper Earth welcome. Major Robert Bear Jackson's deep voice rumbled through the comm. His Space Marines had been training for years, anticipating this very scenario. Technical Specialist Kevin O'Brien's voice cut in. Commander, I've identified their convoy's weak points. Their communication encryption is complex, but it's nothing we haven't seen before. Execute on my mark, Thompson ordered. 3, 2, 1. Begin Operation Wolfpack. The 6 human ships decloaked simultaneously, appearing from seemingly empty space. Before the alien supply ships could react, the Wolfpack struck. Precision fire from the human vessels disabled the escort's engines while avoiding the supply ship's cargo holds. Wolf 3, you've got company. Wolf 2 called out. 3 bogies coming in hot. I see them, Wolf 3 responded calmly, deploying chaff mines. The space around the battle lit up as the chaff mines detonated, creating a cloud of metallic particles that played havoc with alien sensors. It was an old Earth Navy trick, updated for space warfare. Marines, you're clear for boarding, Thompson announced. Show them what Earth's finest can do. Major Jackson's boarding pods launched from the Wolfpack ships, each one carrying a team of heavily armed Space Marines. They had trained for years in zero-gravity combat, and now that training would pay off. Breaching Team 1, we're in, Jackson reported minutes later. These aliens don't know what hit them. Their internal security is a joke compared to our training scenarios. O'Brien's fingers flew across his console. I'm into their network, downloading everything I can. Wait, Commander, you need to see this. Talk to me. Specialist. Their next supply convoy. It's carrying something big. Some kind of superweapon components. If we can intercept that. Thompson's mind raced with the possibilities. Send the data to command. Major Jackson, how long until you secure those ships? We're meeting minimal resistance, Jackson replied. These aliens weren't expecting anyone to be crazy enough to actually board their vessels. 10 minutes, tops. The victory was short-lived. New contacts appeared on the edge of their sensors, a lot of them. Multiple enemy warships dropping out of FTL. Wolf 4 reported. They must have been waiting in reserve. Thompson's jaw set in determination. All units, prepare for Phase 2. Remember your training. We're not just pirates. We're wolves. The Wolfpack ships moved with practiced precision, using the captured supply ships as cover. The larger alien vessels couldn't fire without risking their own cargo, creating the perfect shooting gallery for the more maneuverable human ships. "Major Jackson, time to go," Thompson called out. "Get your people out of there." "Set the charges." "Already done, Commander. You should see what we did to their engine rooms. These ships won't be supplying anyone." The Space Marines retreated to their boarding pods as precisely placed demolition charges detonated throughout the supply ships. The Wolfpack squadron vanished back into the void, leaving behind a graveyard of crippled alien vessels. "Command, this is Wolfpack Actual," Thompson reported. "Phase 1 complete. Moving to secondary targets. The hunt continues." As her squadron disappeared into the darkness of space, Commander Thompson allowed herself a small smile. The aliens were learning a hard lesson. Never underestimate humanity's ability to adapt, overcome, and strike where it hurts most. The Wolfpack had drawn first blood, but the night was still young, and there were many more targets to hunt. "Samantha Circuit," Miller cracked her knuckles as she stared at the streams of alien code flowing across her screens. The Pentagon's underground cyber command center hummed with energy as dozens of the world's best hackers worked to break through the Zixtarian defenses. "Their systems are ancient by our standards," she muttered, taking a sip of her fifth coffee. "They've been using the same base code for centuries. No one ever challenged them enough to make them updated." Lieutenant Colonel David Anderson leaned over her station, his eyes scanning the data. "How long until you can get us in?" "Already there," she smiled, her fingers dancing across the holographic keyboard. They never expected a primitive species to attack them digitally. Their firewalls are like Swiss cheese to modern Earth algorithms. Private First Class Jason Murphy burst into the room, his young face flushed with excitement. "Sir, ma'am, you need to see this. I was analyzing their shield harmonics when I found something." Anderson followed Murphy to his station, where a complex wave pattern rotated in 3D. "Explain." "Their shields operate on a predictable frequency," Murphy said, highlighting sections of the display. "There's a millisecond delay when they shift patterns. If we time it right, we can slit right through," Miller finished, her eyes lighting up. "Jason, you're a genius. Send that data to the fleet immediately." The victory was short-lived as warning alerts flashed across every screen. The aliens had finally noticed their digital intrusion and were launching a counterattack. "Multiple system breaches," someone shouted. "They're trying to access our defense grids." Miller's hands became a blur of motion. "Not today, you oversized lizards. Colonel, I need authorization to deploy the Black Ice Protocol." Anderson didn't hesitate. "Do it." The Black Ice Protocol was a virus unlike anything the galaxy had seen. It used Earth's understanding of quantum computing combined with classic programming, creating something the aliens' ancient systems had no defense against. "Deploying now," Miller announced. And they took the bait. They watched as the virus spread through the alien network like wildfire. Ship after ship began reporting systems failures as their ancient code tried and failed to combat Earth's modern digital warfare. "Sir," Murphy called out, "they're targeting our surface installations, multiple alien ships moving into position above major cities." Anderson's face hardened. "Miller, can you access their weapons systems?" "Better," she grinned. "I can give them a choice. Shut down or watch their life support fail. The Black Ice is already deep in their environmental controls." The alien fleet's formation began to break as ships started losing power. Some managed to purge the virus, but only by completely shutting down their advanced systems and reverting to basic manual controls. "Message from Admiral Parker," an officer announced. "The fleet is moving to engage the disabled ships," she says, and I quote, "Nice work, Circuit." Miller allowed herself a brief moment of pride before diving back into the digital battle. The aliens were adapting, creating new firewalls and countermeasures, but they were fighting a war they had never prepared for. "They're trying to isolate their networks," Murphy reported, "cutting off ship-to-ship communications to stop the spread." "Perfect," Miller said. "That's exactly what we wanted. Colonel, signal the fleet. Phase 4 is a go." As the Earth fleet engaged the confused and divided alien ships, the cyber warriors continued their silent battle. For every countermeasure the aliens developed, Earth's hackers had 3 more attacks ready. "Remember, everyone," Anderson addressed his team. "We're not just fighting for computer systems. We're fighting for every human on Earth. Keep pushing." Miller nodded, starting a new attack sequence. The aliens had come expecting to find a primitive species. Instead, they found one that had turned their greatest weakness, their reliance on ancient, unchanged technology, into humanity's greatest weapon. "Time to show them," she whispered, launching another virus. "Why you should never underestimate Earth's silicon warriors." The digital battle raged on, as invisible, but just as critical as the physical war being fought in space above. Humanity's future would be decided not just by ships and soldiers, but by lines of code and the warriors who wielded them. Captain Lisa Silver-Tongue Rodriguez had never expected to be having tea with an alien defector, yet here she was, sitting across from Sub-Commander Vextil in the diplomatic quarter of the lunar base. "Your species is unlike any we've encountered," Vextil said, his multifaceted eyes reflecting the Earth hanging in the black sky outside. "The Monarch told us you were savages, but I've seen more honor among your warriors than in 1,000 years of our empire." Rodriguez sipped her tea, watching the alien's body language. Dr. Amanda Hayes' psychological profiles had been invaluable in understanding their new allies. "Tell me about the others, the ones who want to break free from the Monarch." "More than you can imagine." Vextil's scales shifted color, showing what Hayes had identified as excitement. "We've lived under the caste system for millennia, but seeing how your military functions, how your lower ranks can rise through merit alone." The door slid open as Marine Sergeant William Peacemaker Brooks entered, leading another group of defectors. His imposing frame had initially frightened the aliens, but his gentle nature had won them over. "Ma'am," Brooks nodded to Rodriguez, "3 more ship's crews have requested asylum. They're saying the Monarch's latest orders crossed a line." "What orders?" Rodriguez leaned forward. Vextil's scales darkened. "Fix has commanded the orbital bombardment of civilian centers. Many of us joined the military to protect, not to slaughter innocents." Rodriguez activated her comlink. "Admiral Parker, are you getting this?" "Loud and clear, Captain," Parker's voice came through. "We're tracking multiple ships breaking formation. Looks like your defectors were right." The room's holographic display activated, showing the tactical situation. Dozens of alien vessels were moving away from the main fleet, their weapons powered down in the universal sign of surrender. "Captain," Vextil said urgently, "there's something else. Something about the Monarch's personal guard." Before he could continue, Dr. Hayes rushed into the room, her tablet displaying new data. "Captain, you need to see this. The psychological profiles of the recent defectors show a pattern. The closer they were to the Monarch, the more likely they are to question orders. Because they've seen the truth," Vextil confirmed. "The Monarch is not divine, not infallible. They're afraid, Captain. Afraid of change, afraid of species like yours that prove everything they've built their empire on is a lie." Sergeant Brooks moved to the window, watching as another shuttle of defectors landed. "These folks just want what we have. A chance to serve with honor, to rise on their own merit." Rodriguez studied the tactical display. The defecting ships had created a third faction in the battle, and more were joining them every hour. "We need to protect them. The Monarch will see them as traitors." "We already have a solution for that," Hayes said, pulling up another display. "The Joint Training Program. We've been teaching human and alien crews to work together. The results are remarkable. It's more than that, Vex still added. Your species has shown us something we'd forgotten. The power of choice. Every defector here chose to stand against tyranny, just as your ancestors did. Rodriguez watched as another group of alien warriors was led into the base. Each one would be interviewed, vetted, and given a choice. A real choice, perhaps for the first time in their lives. Admiral, she called over the comm. I think it's time for Phase 6. The Monarch's fleet is getting weaker by the hour, and we have people on the inside now. Agreed, Parker responded. Captain, you've done good work. The joint fleet launches in 6 hours. Let's show the galaxy what humans and free Zixtarians can do together. As the meeting concluded, Rodriguez watched Vex still speaking with the new defectors, his scales shimmering with hope. The aliens had come to conquer Earth but found something else instead. A revolution of ideas, a chance for freedom. Quite a sight, isn't it? Brooks said, standing beside her. Never thought I'd see the day when we'd be fighting alongside them. That's humanity's real strength, Rodriguez replied. Not just our ability to fight, but our ability to turn enemies into allies, to show others that there's always another way. The battle for Earth had become something more, a battle for the very soul of an empire. And humanity was leading the charge, not just with weapons, but with ideas that could reshape the galaxy. Admiral Jennifer Parker stood at the command center's main viewport, watching the sun's corona flare against the blackness of space. Behind her, Dr. Richard Sundog Martins made final adjustments to his revolutionary solar cannon. The focusing arrays are aligned, Martins reported, his eyes never leaving the complex calculations scrolling across his screen. If this works, we'll be able to channel a solar flare directly at their fleet. When this works, Parker corrected him. She bet everything on this plan, moving Earth's remaining ships into position near Mercury's orbit. Status of the enemy fleet. Lieutenant Wilson's voice came through the comm. Ghost Team confirms the Monarchs taking the bait. Their fleet is moving to engage, just as predicted. They think we're making our last stand. The solar cannon was unlike anything ever built. A massive array of satellites and energy collectors that could theoretically harness and direct the sun's power. It had been Martinez's life work, originally designed for clean energy transmission to Earth. Now it would serve a different purpose. Energy levels at 80%, Martins called out. The next solar flare is due in 7 minutes. Parker activated the fleet-wide channel. All ships, move to Phase 1 positions. Remember your heat shielding protocols. We only get one shot at this. The human fleet, bolstered by their alien defector allies, formed a precise formation. Each ship had been modified with extra heat shielding, another innovation the Zixtarians had never considered necessary. Enemy fleet entering the killing zone, Wilson reported. 5 minutes to solar flare. Martinez's hands flew over his controls. Admiral, there's something you should know. The energy output will be stronger than our initial calculations. We might not be able to control it fully. Can the fleet's shielding handle it? Ours can. Theirs can't. Their ships were built for deep space. They never expected to fight this close to a star. Parker nodded grimly. That's counting on. All ships, final positions. Prepare for Operation Daybreak. The Monarch's fleet drew closer, their formation perfect, just as rigid and unyielding as their society. They never suspected that the humans had chosen this battlefield for a reason. Solar flare beginning, Martins announced. Energy spike detected. Now, Parker ordered. All ships, execute Maneuver Delta. Fire the solar cannon. The space around them lit up brighter than day as the solar cannon activated, its array of satellites capturing and focusing the raw power of a solar flare. The concentrated beam of solar energy shot through space like the wrath of an ancient god. Direct hit, Wilson called out. Multiple enemy ships losing power. Their heat shielding is failing. The alien fleet's perfect formation shattered as ships tried to escape the devastating wave of solar energy. But the human fleet was ready, their modified ships dancing through the solar storm like surfers riding a wave. The Monarch's flagship is isolated, Martins reported. Their primary systems are offline. They're running on emergency power. Parker allowed herself a small smile. All ships, Phase 2. Cut off their retreat. Don't let them jump to FTL. The combined human and defector fleet moved with practiced precision, herding the damaged enemy ships away from their escape routes. The solar cannon had done more than just damage their fleet. It had shown the galaxy that humanity could turn nature itself into a weapon. Admiral. Wilson's voice was urgent. Ghost Team reports the Monarch is trying to transfer to another ship. They're making a break for it. Not today. Parker's voice was steel. Martinez, can we get one more shot? The arrays are still hot, but yes, it'll burn them out completely. Do it. All ships, clear the target zone. Final phase, execute. One last burst of solar energy lashed out, catching the Monarch's escape ship in mid-flight. The vessel's shields failed under the onslaught, leaving it drifting and powerless. Target disabled, Wilson confirmed. Ghost Team moving to board. Parker watched as the battle turned into a rout, the once mighty alien fleet now scattered and broken. They had come expecting to find primitive savages. Instead, they found a species that had learned to wield the power of a star. Send word to Earth, she ordered. Operation Daybreak is complete. The Monarch is about to learn why you don't threaten humanity's home. The sun flared behind them, as if in agreement, while the combined fleet moved in to secure their victory. Major Tom Davidson led his strike team through the darkened corridors of the Monarch's crippled flagship. The solar cannon had done its work well. Emergency lights cast purple shadows across the alien architecture as they advanced. Command, we're approaching the throne room, he whispered into his comm. Resistance has been minimal. Understood, Major. Commander Thompson's voice crackled back. Wolf packs have all exit routes covered. They're not going anywhere. Behind him, a mixed team of human special forces and 6 Terrian defectors moved in perfect sync. Months of joint training had forged them into something new. A force that combined human adaptability with alien knowledge. Vextil, what can we expect inside? Davidson asked the former sub-commander. The alien scales shifted to a deep blue. The Royal Guard will be there. But after what we've shown them today, their loyalty may not be what it once was. They'd reached the massive doors of the throne room. Security systems that would have once vaporized unauthorized visitors now lay silent, victims of Earth's cyber warfare. Breaching charges set, Sergeant Sarah Collins reported, her explosives already in place. On your mark, sir. Davidson took a deep breath. Strike team, remember, we want the Monarch alive. The galaxy needs to see justice done. 3, 2, 1. Breach. The doors blew inward with a thunderous crash. The strike team poured through the smoke, weapons ready, only to find something unexpected. The Royal Guard had their weapons turned inward, surrounding the Monarch's throne. Hold fire, Vextil called out. Brothers, sisters, you know why we're here. The leader of the Royal Guard, a towering Zixterian named Kexelor, stepped forward. We've been waiting for you. We cannot serve any longer. On the throne, Supreme Overlord Kthix sat in silent rage, their once magnificent robes scorched by the battle. Traitors, all of you. Centuries of tradition, of order, of lies. Davidson cut in, moving forward. Your empire was built on lies, and your own people know it now. How dare you address me directly, human? Thix snarled. I am divine. I am. You're under arrest, Davidson stated flatly, by joint authority of Earth's defense forces and the Free Zixtarian fleet. The throne room fell silent as the words hung in the air. Centuries of absolute power were ending not with a grand battle, but with a simple statement of fact. Commander Thompson, Davidson called over his comm. Throne room is secure. The Monarch is in custody. No casualties. Excellent work, Major. Admiral Parker sends her compliments. Bringing in the transport now. As they waited for the transport, Davidson watched the Royal Guard lower their weapons, some of them speaking quietly with the defectors. The revolution that had started with ideas was ending with understanding. I never thought I'd see this day, Vextil said softly. Our people, free to choose their own path. That's what Earth fought for, Davidson replied. Not just our freedom, but everyone's right to choose. The transport team arrived, led by Captain Rodriguez. Her diplomatic skills would be crucial in the coming days as the Empire transformed. Major Davidson, she nodded. Quite a different scene from first contact, isn't it? Hard to believe it was only weeks ago, he agreed. They came to conquer us, and found liberation instead, Rodriguez finished. She turned to the fallen monarch. Your Highness, if you'll come with us, Earth's lunar base has been prepared for your accommodation. As they led K-Thix away, Davidson looked around the throne room. The symbols of imperial power now seemed empty, meaningless compared to the reality of what they'd achieved. All units, Admiral Parker's voice came through the fleet-wide channel. The Monarch is secured. Operation Liberation is complete. Well done, everyone. Well done. The war was over. The combined fleet, human and Free Zixtarian alike, had won not just through superior tactics or technology, but through the power of ideas. They had shown the galaxy that true strength lay not in domination, but in the freedom to choose one's own path. Davidson looked at his mixed team of humans and aliens, all standing proud together. Let's go home, he said. We've got a new future to build. The grand chamber of the lunar base had been transformed for the historic occasion. Representatives from Earth's nations sat alongside Free Zixtarian leaders as Admiral Jennifer Parker approached the podium. Through the massive windows behind her, both Earth and the remnants of the recent battle were visible. 1 month ago, she began, her voice carrying through the silent chamber. An alien fleet appeared in our solar system, demanding our surrender. Today, we stand together not as conquerors and conquered, but as equals, ready to forge a new path forward. In the front row, Captain Lisa Rodriguez sat next to Sub-Commander Vextil, both now wearing the new Joint Species Command insignia. Behind them, Major Davidson and his strike team represented the military alliance that had made victory possible. The trial of former monarch, K-Thix, has concluded, Parker continued. Their crimes against both humanity and their own people have been documented. But more important than punishment is the future we build from here. Dr. Amanda Hayes stood to present the next phase. The psychological barriers between our species are breaking down. The Joint Military Academy has already received applications from 17 different star systems. They've seen what we achieved together, and they want to be part of it. Samantha Miller, still looking tired from weeks of cybersecurity work, added her report. The integration of our technologies has already yielded amazing results. By combining Earth's innovation with Zixtarian experience, we're creating defenses that will protect both our worlds. The chamber's holographic display activated, showing the new Joint Defense Fleet. Ships of both human and alien design flew together, their crews mixed, their mission united. The galaxy is changing, Vextil addressed the chamber. For millennia, The Empire ruled through fear and division. Earth showed us a better way. Not just through military might, but through the power of choice, of innovation, of working together despite our differences. Commander Thompson's Wolfpack squadron performed a flyby outside the windows, now including both human and Sixtarian pilots. The sight drew appreciative murmurs from the assembled delegates. The Joint Species Military Academy will begin its first term next month, Rodriguez announced. We're not just teaching combat skills, we're teaching leadership, innovation, and most importantly, understanding between species. Dr. Richard Martinez stepped forward, his solar cannon project now repurposed. What was once a weapon will now power a new era of exploration. The combined fleet will use this technology to push further into the galaxy, not to conquer, but to discover. Admiral Parker retook the podium. Today, we ratify the Earth-Sixtarian Accord. This is not just a peace treaty. It's a blueprint for the future. Together, we will face whatever challenges the galaxy presents. The vote was unanimous. As the chamber erupted in applause, human and alien alike, Parker watched the scene with pride. They had done more than win a war. They had changed the course of galactic history. The stars are calling, she concluded, and we will answer together. Later, on the observation deck, the core team that had led Earth to victory gathered for a quieter celebration. Hard to believe it all started with a signal on my monitor, Lieutenant Wilson mused, looking out at the stars. And now look at us, Davidson replied, leading the way into a new era of space exploration. Rodriguez smiled as another mixed crew transport launched from the base below. You know what the best part is. We're just getting started. The Monarch never understood, Vextil added, his scales shimmering with joy. True power doesn't come from control. It comes from freedom, from choice, from trust. Admiral Parker joined them, holding a data pad with the latest reports. The former empire was transforming into a federation of free worlds, with Earth and the free Sixtarians leading the way. So, she asked the group, who's ready for the next adventure? The answer was written in their smiles, in the pride they took in their new joint command insignias, and in the way they stood together, human and alien, warriors and scientists, all united in purpose. Above them, the stars beckoned, no longer as conquest to be won, but as a future to be shared. Humanity had proven itself not just through force of arms, but through the power of ideas, innovation, and the unshakable belief that freedom was worth fighting for. The future was waiting, and they would meet it together. The end.